Hey, Shalom Akim, this is Yahba Tazak coming back with another video. I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone. Much love and respect to you brothers out there doing the work in sincerity and truth. Alright, I happen to come across this video here with RT America here on YouTube. And it's titled, What Happens When We Die? Ask the Brain. And this is a spirit because earlier today at work, I had made a quick hit video on regards to what happens to someone that dies, and where the body goes and where the spirit goes. And the reason for that is because in the Christian church, their doctrine is that when you die, you're a sinner, you go to hell. All right. And I just wanted to make a video on that, and I happened to come across this video, and what they're speaking about is that these scientists and these doctors, they know that the spirit continues on, okay, but they don't want to recognize that what's inside this body is a spirit, you know. But Lord willing, this video will come all the way out, because I've been trying to make this video, man, and it keeps shutting off for some reason. I don't know why. But I'm gonna let the video play and just listen to what they say, man, and I'm gonna bring out a few scriptures.
A fascinating new scientific study reveals that human consciousness may continue even after death, at least for a short time. This study, the largest of its kind, concluded that over 2,000 people who suffered cardiac arrest and were clinically dead but were successfully resuscitated later, 40% of those who survived were aware that they were dead or dying before their hearts were restarted by medical staff. So to discuss this a little further, we're being joined now by the lead researcher, Dr. Sam Parnia, Director of Critical Care and Resuscitation.
Saying real quick, man, we don't know if your memory and you're thinking when you die. Okay, more than likely you are. All right, because the spirit, that's what's inside of us, and it has, you know, a memory and things of that nature. The only thing that we do know in the scriptures is that we don't remember anything when we come back, because there's a thing called reincarnation. All right, you brothers that are in the know, and you know this. Okay, this is Ecclesiastes 1:9. The thing that had been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It has been already of old time, which was before us. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. That's the only thing that we do know, is that when we come back, we don't have no recollection or memory of our prior life, okay? But the spirit does continue to go on, and I'm sure 100% sure that it knows that that spirit is out of the body, and the body's dead, okay? I'm gonna continue to play the video.
Research at New York's NYU Langone School of Medicine. Doctor, thank you for being with us today. So we typically associate the time of death with when people lose their heartbeat, the heart stops working. Does this research then imply that we might have to kind of rethink how we currently view time of death?
Well, I think it's important to understand what death is. Death occurs when the heart stops beating. There's no doubt about that. And because when the heart stops beating, a person has no blood flow, and they stop breathing immediately, and their brain shuts down, it stops functioning. That's why people lose consciousness, they become lifeless, motionless, and what we describe as being dead. However, what's important to understand is that although we used to think of death as being an absolute moment, and that is the moment that's used to give people a death note, a time of death, however, it's actually only after a person has died that the cells inside the body start to undergo their own process of death, and that can take many hours. And that is why, even though people have died, there's no doubt that they have died, but it is possible to try to resuscitate them back to life again for quite some time, tens of minutes or maybe hours of time after they have met the biological criteria for death.
Wow. Well, the studies show that there's a sudden burst, right, of brain activity when the body dies, which lead scientists to conclude the person on some level knows that they've died before their brain actually shuts down. You've actually said that the evidence suggests.
Real quick, Akim, like it said, they're able to bring back the person to life hours after they've been deemed as being dead, because of the cells and the organs and that are still functioning. They hadn't fully died. Okay, so that right there is a sign of that. It's up to Yahweh Yahushai how long he's going to keep that spirit in that body. Okay, and you know what I'm saying? So they know that they're able to bring back somebody as long as that spirit is still in that body, and they hadn't faced a rigor mortis. Rigor mortis is the Latin word, and the meaning of it is stiffening of death. So once that occurs, that's a sign of death, because the spirit that's inside the body is what warms the body. It gives the body energy. Okay, that's why when the body is cold when it dies, because the spirit's gone. Okay, so whenever you stop breathing and all that, that stuff, that doesn't mean that you're actually fully dead yet. Okay, the spirit is still in there. So that's why they're able to bring back certain individuals hours later, because the spirit is still there, and only if the Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai sanctions that. All right, and real quick, let me go ahead and bring out the scripture here, and Ecclesiastes. Salakia, give me 1 second. I just had it. I gotta keep checking this thing because I don't know if it's gonna just shut itself off. This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 7. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto Yahweh who gave it. So the dust is the flesh, and it's going to return back to the earth, to the ground, and the spirit shall return back unto Yahweh who gave it. So the spirit is going to go back to the Father regardless, when it's ready, when he's ready for it to come back to him. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish playing this video.
That in the first few minutes after death, consciousness is not annihilated. So what does this imply for the nature of human consciousness itself?
Yeah, I mean, so this is a very difficult question to answer in such a short period of time. But I think if I may, I need to just go back a step to our own study. I don't think it was quite described correctly. So we carried out a study of more than 2,000 people who had met the criteria for death. They had a cardiac arrest, and they were able to be resuscitated back to life.
Okay.
Unfortunately, most of those people are not successfully resuscitated. They don't come back because they're so ill. However, among those who did survive, 40% had a perception of having had awareness, but they couldn't have any recollection. They just thought they had been aware. But interestingly, 10% had very vivid, mystical, religious, transformative experiences from their period of death. And then 2.5% of the survivors had full visual and auditory awareness. They were able to describe events that were going on in the room, even though from our perspective they were dead. And interestingly, one case was verified to have been conscious for at least up to 3 to 5 minutes after their determination of death. So that is really fascinating, and what it seems to tell us is that the human mind and consciousness, that thing that makes us who we are, ourself, does not become annihilated when we've gone beyond the biological threshold of death. How long it continues.
See, he's calling what they call yourself, or the self. What he should be saying is the spirit, because the spirit is what's inside of this body, man. Each and individual person on this earth has a spirit in them that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai put inside that body. All right, that temple, that house. Okay, that's where the spirit abides. That's where the spirit dwells, inside the body. Okay, that's what he should be saying, not self or whatever else terminology he likes to use.
Continues for, of course, we don't know, but death is a fascinating area that we're all trying to explore.
Wow.
And death is easy to explore above the surface, because I'm pretty, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai gives us enough to understand, because the Bible tells us what death is, how death is, and what death is about, and what it is to be alive here on this earth. All right, so it's easy to explore. They just try to go above and beyond into these whole different these they try to exceed more to a place where nobody's really been. But the Bible, the Lord tells you, man, it's simple. It's in the scriptures. All they got to do is open up the word of the Heavenly Father, and it's there. The body dies and the spirit goes back to the Father. That's it. Okay? And there is a thing called reincarnation. You don't come back with no recollection of your prior life. Now, I do believe that when you die, you are aware of dying. And you will be aware of leaving that body. And real quick, to the brothers, I had a dream a long time ago, around after September 11, 2001, where I was in a line with certain individuals. I don't know why we're in the line, but there was two men behind me, and one of them had a glass tube with some chemical in it, and he ended up throwing it on the ground, and everybody started running. Well, I was trying to run and close my eyes and my mouth, keep everything shut tight as much as I could, because that chemical was killing people. It was like a biological warfare, and no matter how much I kept my eyes shut tight in my mouth, that chemical seeped in, and it started killing my body, you know. And then after that, I felt my spirit leave the body, and when it left, it was in complete darkness, but I could still think. I was telling myself, I'm out of my body. I'm dying. My body's dying, or I died, but my spirit is going somewhere else, you know. So that was just a dream, but you know what I'm saying. I believe that's what happens. You know what I'm saying. So, you know, and I'm gonna continue to play this video.
So it is a very small minority of those who survived then that could kind of explain what they had gone through, and so. Just as the brain is designed, though, for life and for living, does your research then bring up the possibility that it may also be designed on some level, designed for death and dying?
Well, of course, you know, my role, I'm an intensive care doctor. My job is to save people's lives and prevent them from dying. But unfortunately, it happens all the time, and we try to resuscitate them successfully. And what we're now able to do for the first time is to go beyond that threshold of death in order to bring them back safely without brain damage, without disorders of consciousness, study what happens to the brain in that period. And of course, it's a whole area that's evolving for us as part of our research into saving the brain. Of course, it is a part of the death process, and it's amazing how it still is not fully annihilated even after we've gone beyond the threshold of death.
This is just absolutely fascinating. So, real briefly, Doctor, what in your view is the most significant implication of the findings and the studies that you've just conducted?
There are a couple of very important implications. One is that if we can optimize the methods by which we resuscitate people, and, for example, try to save the brain by using cooling technologies, various other methods, we can actually bring a whole person back without brain damage. But what's also fascinating is, of course, this whole question of what makes us who we are, the self, the mind, the consciousness, the psyche, whatever you want to call it, the mind-body problem has been going on for thousands of years. And here we have a model in which we can test what happens to human mind and consciousness when the brain has shut down. And it appears to be that the consciousness does not become annihilated. The part that makes us who we are does not.
The part who makes us who we are is a spirit, man. All right, it's the spirit that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the creator of all things, the Most High, Yahweh. All right. Well, Yahushai is his son. Okay, this is Hebrews 1:7, and of the angels he saith, who maketh his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire. So we're energy, man. What's inside this body is energy, and it's burning. All right, it's on fire. That's what gives us the body the warmth. Okay, and the spirit is who what makes us who we are, man. Okay.
Become annihilated when we've gone, at least in the first period after death. How long it continues afterwards, of course, we don't know. I would also just like to add for people listening, this doesn't mean that people are wide awake, that when they've gone through death, they really are dead. It's that entity, the thing that makes me who I am, the self that we're describing, not that they're wide awake.
The spirit, okay? Now listen to what he says at the very end.
And able to see things. They have a perception that their self is detached from the body, and they're able to watch things, and they don't feel any pain, they don't feel any discomfort, they're in complete peace. They know they're in
complete peace. Now this leads me to Job 3:17. Salakia, Job 3:17. There be wicked, there the wicked cease. There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest.